Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Stina Life podcast. I'm so thrilled to have you with me. I am Christina Myers. I am an energetics practitioner and teacher, helping you to navigate through this thing called life through the lens of energy. We have really been going through a lot of changes recently, and I wanted to talk about one of the major energetic shifts that we are undergoing right now as a collective. And from an astrological lens, that is the Pluto Retrograde of 2026. This started on May 6th and is going to continue until October 15th of this year through the sign of Aquarius. So we've already gone over these 3 degrees. We're going to start at 5 degrees Aquarius and go backwards to 3 degrees Aquarius. We've already gone through this process over the last year or so, but now we're going to get to go back and review what we have learned and really go inward and uncover, as Pluto loves to do, go deep into the crevices of the unconscious mind and deep into the crevices of what has been hidden to bring that to the surface and shine a light upon it so that we can recognize it, we can see where there's imbalance, and we can release it. So this is going to be a very important energetic period that we are going through. And I wanted to go deeper into this. Pluto is the planet of the underworld. It is really one of the main planets that is about destructuring what is in place. And so what it does is it has the ability to go very deep under the surface to clear away any old residual energy that is not aligned with the collective energetic lens or your personal energetic lens and where you need to go. And so it looks at all of those old frameworks. A lot of that is about surrendering to it, and it's about transmuting it and then being able to bring in something new. It is truly about the phoenix rising from the ashes in many ways. It is complete death and destruction, and then bringing in a rebirth of something brand new to the surface. And in the sign of Aquarius, Pluto moved into Aquarius in 2024. It will be here for the next 18 years. It's a 20-year cycle. So for the next 18 years, we have Pluto transiting through Aquarius. This also aligns with the Chinese astrology of period 9, which is also a 20-year cycle. And again, we entered that 2 years ago as well. And period 9 is about finality. It's about the ending. It's about tearing down the structures as well. So these two different astrological modalities are aligned for the period that we are in and what we're going through. And in the sign of Aquarius, Aquarius is about the we. It is about how do we work together in a collective, in a community, for a purpose. It is always about bringing people together for a particular purpose that then initiates great change. Aquarius is not a conforming energy. It does not come in to conform to the current systems. It actually comes in to call out the current systems, especially when there is imbalance in those energies. If there's inverted agendas within those energies, it is here to call that out, and it is here to transform that into something that works for the whole. So as we move through this Pluto retrograde, Pluto is going to be unearthing a lot more things in the collective consciousness, in our individual consciousness, for us to transmute. We first have to face our fears about that, because Pluto is very much a planet that does invoke a lot of fear at first, but then we move through that, transform through that, and come out in a totally different state of being because of it. And so this is what we're talking about as we move through this. So I want to go through the Sabian symbols. The Sabian symbols is another type of astrological tool that we can use. And it basically paints a bit of a story as to the themes of the degree and the degree in a particular sign. So this helps us to get a little bit more detail into particularly around some of the things that we might be seeing. It's interesting because we've already been at 5 to 6 degrees Aquarius already. We're starting the retrograde period in this. But the thing about retrogrades is that it's making you look even deeper under the surface than what it normally would. And so this is really about going further inward and looking within ourselves as well as the collective to what's going on. So this first Sabian symbol for where we're at now, the 5 degrees Aquarius, is a masked figure performs ritualistic acts in a mystery play. Let me read that again. A masked figure performs ritualistic acts in a mystery play. Okay, so this is the degree where we are pausing and pivoting. And this is a really potent image. It's of a figure whose face is hidden, and it's enacting sacred drama before an audience. So the actor's not just performing, they are becoming a vessel in many ways for transpersonal forces larger than themselves. And what we're being asked in this particular degree is, what is the role that each of us have been playing that is not really who we are? What are we attached to, unconsciously or consciously, where we are attached to systems and structures that hold power over others? What narratives, what belief systems are we attached to? And especially when it comes to yourself, what is your own true identity? Not the mask that you're wearing outside, but what is behind the mask? What is truly behind who you are? And we're starting to see, especially on a collective level, we're starting to understand and see the acting behind the power. A lot of political stuff is at the forefront. We're seeing it institutionally. We're seeing it with technology companies. And so we're being asked at this time to try to discern for ourselves what is performance versus what is actually real. And this is important because a lot of us hold belief systems and we don't know why we hold a belief system. A lot of us hold information and we don't even know where we heard that information. And maybe it's something that we learned very early in life from our family members, from our community, but we don't actually know if it's true. And much of this is asking us to take responsibility for our own belief systems, for what we're attaching to, and also asking each of us to do the due diligence to look behind the curtain. This is like the Wizard of Oz, right? When there was like the great and powerful Oz and everybody was so scared, and then the dog pulled back the curtain and you realize that it's just a man behind the curtain that was doing all of this and putting all this theatrical stuff together. And so much of this is looking at the theater of all of these power structures and being able to see through the power structures that are in place. Okay? This is really a moment of turning inward. So as the curtain continues to drop outward, it's where we have to go and turn to ourselves to rely on ourselves. But we also have to heal ourselves in order to do this, to understand that we have always held the power within us, and we have been giving away our power to external resources, our time, our attention, our finances outside of ourselves, and that no one's coming to save us. This is the time where we have to save ourselves, but we only can save ourselves when we know who we are at our core, and we're willing to do whatever it takes to turn inwards to do the work. That's what we're in right now. And it can be a very scary sensation to go through that. But I promise you, just dip your toe in the water. That's the first thing you have to do. And everything will start to move from there. Okay, so that is the first phase of this Pluto retrograde. As we hit midpoint of this Pluto retrograde, we move into 4 degrees of Aquarius. This is the mid-journey era. And the Sabian symbol for this is a council of ancestors is seen implementing the efforts of a young leader. And this is a beautiful, beautiful Sabian symbol image. Our elders, our ancestors, those who have come before us, they are not passive players. They're not only actively supporting us and helping us to emerge into a version of themselves that they were not able to fulfill in that incarnation. They are also passing down their wisdom, their traditions, all of their knowledge to us at this time. And we have to show great gratitude for those who have come before us, because they went through a lot of different things in order to provide us better opportunities and more knowledge and more awareness, so that we can do better, right? So a lot of this is around this lineage. But there is the underbelly of this particular placement when it comes to Pluto, and that is also the inherited trauma that we received from previous generations, right? The inherited mess that we are seeing, that a lot of us are inheriting from just mismanagement, poor management, poor leadership over the years. And that has come from our elders, that has come from those that have been in positions of power that are in these other generations, right? And so it is time for us to take that wisdom from our ancestors, but also take the wounding and the trauma that has been produced. And it's time for us to transmute that and to be able to turn that into progress in some way. Okay. This is the era about innovation. This is the era about the future. This is the era about what is beyond just this earth experience. This is our interconnectedness with something beyond just earth, of intelligence, of consciousness that is of a different vibration and frequency. But we have to understand too that we are rooted into this lineage that we each come from, and that we are all interconnected, right? And so all of those things hold gifts, and they also hold traumas. And so part of us as the new leaders of the emerging new earth is that we are here rooting in for deep and powerful transformation. And this is part of this work that we are all going to be doing when Pluto hits 4 degrees. And then finally, we're going to hit 3 degrees of Aquarius. And this is where we station direct when we start to move forward on October 15th. And the Sabian symbol for this degree is a Hindu yogi demonstrates his healing powers. I love this for the completion, because once we strip away and we unmask all of the power structures, we unmask all of the ancestral trauma, and we strip that all back within ourselves as well as collectively, what emerges and remains is a beautiful healer who has mastered the inner alchemy. And this power that you hold is not coming from external validation or authority, but it's coming from radical inner sovereignty. This is the destination. It is healing through mastery of the self. And it's not about fighting the darkness. It is about transmuting it. So this is a beautiful place to finalize this deep transformation. And one of the biggest reasons I wanted to talk about this retrograde is because this is the new kind of power. This is the new power. It is about self-sovereignty, and it is rooted in wisdom, and it is rooted in depth. That is not about domination. It is not about power over. It is not about extorting and extracting resources and energy of people and animals and the earth itself. This is where all of the new earth, if you want to call it, I call it the harmonic point. This is where all of this is emerging. All of the new healing techniques, all of the new wisdom keepers, all of the new teachers are emerging after this period. So the big question that's going to come for all of us once we get to mid-October is, can you hold your power without needing to control anything or anyone else? And we have to understand that at a deep level for ourselves. Where are we holding power over others? Where are we extracting power from others? We all are participating in this. And one of the reasons I started the secondary series called Reclaim Your Field, it's about how do we energetically and practically pull ourselves away from these systems. How do we pull back our time, our energy, and our resources? Whether that's our physical body, whether that's the body of the earth, or whether that's our financials, where we're placing our money. What are we supporting? This is the time where we have to hold our own center. Can you hold the center? Can you be in a place of neutrality? Can you look at things from a 50,000 foot view? Can you see all perspectives? This is true mastery of your own energy field. This is the thing that I've been talking about for a long time. The thing that my friend Heather and I have been doing over at Light Alchemy Collective. It's not about any more woo-woo, spiritual, get out of your body stuff. This is about how do you embody the fullest version of you? How do you pull all of your energy back where the outside noise that is here to distract us, the masked figures who perform ritualistic acts in a mystery play, no longer grab your attention? When the outside noise and outside influences from the ancestral line, when you refuse to carry the pain and the trauma for them any longer, this is when true mastery emerges. And this is the era that we are in. And it's only until we can recognize this for ourselves, it's only until we actually can remove our energy from these systems and structures that have held power over us, that have used us, extracted from us, controlled us. When we pull all of that back, we become the masters of ourselves. And that is the most liberating thing we all can do. And that is where true freedom comes in. So understand that these times that we are in this year, the energy is so extraordinary and it's so potent for massive change. And this is only one transit out of so many things that are happening this year that are basically a domino effect of us collectively shifting in such a massive way. So enjoy this retrograde period, dig deep, go deeper for yourself, and understand where that focus should be. And for you personally, look exactly where Aquarius sits in your chart. This is going to be the area of life where you're going to feel this the most. And especially if you have any planets or placements, significant planets or placements that are between 3 degrees and 5 degrees of Aquarius, Taurus, Scorpio, or Leo, you will be feeling this transit a lot more than other people. So first house is, if you've got Aquarius in the first house, this is about your identity. This is about your outlook on life. This is about how you see the world. Second house is going to be around your value system and your possessions, your financial matters. Third house is around how you think and how you communicate. Fourth house is about your home, who you are behind closed doors, your immediate family. Fifth house is around your expression of yourself, your creativity, can be related to children and romance as well. Sixth house is going to be about your day-to-day life, your day-to-day routines, and also your true vocation, your true calling. Seventh is around your relationships. Eighth is around those deepening of those relationships. How can you become more vulnerable? How can you go deeper with other people? Ninth house is around exploration of the higher mind, of travel, of learning something new. 10th house is going to be about your reputation, potentially around your career. 11th house is the house of Aquarius natively. So this is definitely about getting together with like-minded people who have the same vision as you. And 12th house, of course, is around your unconscious belief patterns, things that you may have hidden, fears, spiritual plane, the unseen realms as well. So take a look at your natal chart. You can go to astro.com to pull that up, and you can see where Aquarius sits in your chart, and that's going to give you the best view on how this transit, Pluto retrograde transit, is going to be impacting you. I hope you all have a wonderful week, no matter where you're listening from, and I wish you all the best. Take care.